Have you been reached out to lately by someone trying to sell you a directory listing for your law firm? Like Justia, Avo, Lawyers.com, Fine Law, Super Lawyers, NOLO. I'm sure you've gotten that email. How do you know if it's a good investment? What questions to ask? And are you just going to get screwed over? Hey guys, Jamal Galadari here helping law firms and attorneys with online marketing and SEO. And today I wanted to cover that topic, just that. What questions to ask anyone reaching out on any directory listing. Now, do directory listings still work? Absolutely, they still work, right? 42% of legal consumers use a directory. We're just conditioned that way. We use, Travelocity, Expedia when we're traveling. We go to Yelp for food, right? We're just conditioned to use directories. So individuals still are using directories when looking for legal help. Also, typically in directories, they do have a higher conversion rate or higher quality leads because that person is further down the funnel. They're not at the top of the funnel, right? They're usually lower in the buying cycle where they're ready to buy or ready to seek out an attorney. So directories can be very profitable. However, if you invest in the wrong one and you don't ask questions, you might just be wasting your money. So that's why I wanted to talk about what questions to ask. So the questions you should ask is, how many clicks am I going to get? That's probably one of the most important questions to ask. Not impressions. A lot of salespeople selling those directories are going to go after impressions. Now, don't get me wrong. Impressions are good. Impressions help with branding. People are seeing your profile. They're seeing your face. They're seeing your brand. So they could go to the directory, pop out, go to your website, and end up contacting you. So impressions are good still. If you do want to show up everywhere that the legal consumer is looking for help. However, if you don't have a huge budget and impressions aren't what you're going after, you should be going after contacts, right? So you should ask for how many clicks am I going to get from this listing? And how many contacts am I going to get this listing? What's the conversion rate off of this listing or your directory as a whole? Why does that matter? Because if you're getting a ton of website clicks and they say their conversion is 30% or 20%, at least you know out of the clicks how many contacts you're going to get, right? And then you can break it down to the cost per click or if the cost per lead, right? So let's just take an example. Let's say this premium listing that the directory listing is $1,000 a month, right? And it could be a 6-month contract, 12-month contract, whatever the contract term. Let's just do a year's time frame. And let's say it's $12,000 for the whole year for that directory listing. Now, we're just going to do PI really quick. We can do family law, but we're going to break it down. So let's say it's $12,000. And then you ask, how much does it cost? How many clicks am I going to get? Say they said you're going to get 366 clicks, right? So you divide that by 366, that's $32 a click. You're looking here, the average cost per click is $146. Now, the average cost per click depends on the campaign you're running. If you're running like a pay-per-click campaign, for example, you should be, like if you're working with a third-party provider and you're running a pay-per-click campaign, they should be getting you 15 to 20%. The national average is 7%, but that's poor. So if you're working with somebody else running your campaign, 15 to 20% is kind of like a minimum. You should be getting that. But I digress. Back to here. So you can get basically figure out the average cost per click in that particular practice area. So like for PI, let's just say it's $109, right, per click. Well, that's a good conversion right there, right? Cost per click is $32. So you're like, okay, this might be a really good listing. Then you're going to ask, well, out of those clicks, how many people are converting into contacts? Let's say they say 10%, that would be 36, right? So you divide that by 36. We're looking at $333 per lead. That's probably a good investment, right? Depending on the quality, right? So that'll give you an idea like, okay, this might be a great investment. Now let's flip it to family law. Let's say $12,000, you're going to get 36 contacts over the year's time frame. Well, you know, for PI, the standard in Florida is about 3,300, right? For the what an attorney like would get for average case off their PIP and everything. But that'll show you right there, like 3,300 out of the 36 contacts. You know, what will it take to break even at the minimum is about 4 cases. You know, depending on your closing ratio for your firm, you can make a good decision if that's a good investment for you, right? So let's say for family law, let's say you get 36 contacts. Well, you know, like it all depends. Granted, like let's say your retainer's 5K to 10K, right? So let's say your retainer's 5K. Well, I only need 3 cases and I'm making a profit. So out of the 36, if I just convert, you know, a few of those into cases, I'm going to make a return on investment. So that's probably a good investment over the year's time. 12 grand. One of those retainers could turn into, you know, case that's, you know, billable hours, and it can go on for a long time, which would turn into a good investment. However, you need to track all of it. So any provider that's giving you tracking, make sure you're going to be able to see how many calls you got, who contacted you. That way you can see what return on investment you get, right? A lot of providers don't give you the concrete data. Unfortunately, a lot of firms will have me reach out to like a third party provider, let's say just for example, a directory listing, and I'll go over their data and it's really poor. Like they're not getting anything from it. And I don't know if they didn't ask the right questions up front, but just ask these questions to kind of get a good idea of what you're going to get from any directory listing to make a good decision. Because yeah, some people will just sell you crap, and you want to get down something where they're going to tell you how many contacts you're going to get. Out of all of this, sum it up. Ask how many clicks you're going to get, ask how many contacts you're going to get, and what's the price. And then that way you can use Google Keyword Planner because it's free. You just set up an account, you know, use a credit card. Don't make the campaign active, right? And kind of figure out the cost per click for your practice area. And then you can make an educated decision if you should move forward with that listing or not. So that way you can avoid getting ripped off or not getting a return on your investment, and making the best possible educated decision when you're asking these sales individuals who are trying to sell you a top spot, if it's going to be worth your investment on the directory, right? So I hope that was helpful. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like the content that I'm putting out. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.